daughters, Ashley, Megan, and Caitlin. Welcome to SOULSTRENGTH Fit Kids, your spot for fun Bible stories and exercise. It's easy. All you have to do is copy what we do. We'll start seated on our bottoms. Let's bring our hands to our hearts and close our eyes. Dear God, we love you and we're excited to hear your story in the Bible today. Amen. Now today's story takes place long ago in a small fishing village on the shore of the Sea of Galilee. A little boy lived in this village. We don't really know his name. Let's call him Jimmy. Now Jimmy's father was a fisherman, and Jimmy spent much of each day catching fish to sell at the town market to help his family make money. Jump up and pretend to fish like Jimmy. Grab your fishing pole and hoist it over your shoulder. Then cast the line into the ocean. Try it again. Hoist the pole back, then cast your line. Hoist and cast. Really great job. Now reel in the big fish that you caught. Turn the reel and pull him in. It's a big one. Turn, turn, turn. Wow, look at the size of the fish that you caught. Hold up your fish and put your other hand on your hip. This is how proud Jimmy feels every time he catches a fish to sell at the town market. Now, Jimmy didn't just help his dad make money for his family, he helped his mom too. She baked bread to sell in the town market. Get down to your knees. Now grab your bowl and add your flour. Add, and then add your yeast. Add, and now mix it all together. Stir it around in your mixing bowl. Stir, stir, stir. Now Jimmy needs to knead his bread. This takes a little effort. Put your hands together and with your palms, start pushing into the dough. Really push, hard push. You want to get your dough nice and soft. Now jump up with your dough and shape it into a loaf. Shape, and put it into the oven. I think you're just as good at making bread as Jimmy and his mom. One day, something exciting happened in Jimmy's little seaside town. All the neighbors were talking excitedly about a man named Jesus who was nearby with his friends. Run in place to your neighbor's house to tell them, Jesus is near. Now run the other way and tell your other neighbor, Jesus is near. Now, Jimmy's town was filled with hardworking people like the members of his family. They didn't have much money, and they had to work hard each and every day to make enough money to get by. Some of them fished, pretend to fish like Jimmy and his dad. Some of them baked, jump down and mix your flour and your yeast, stir your dough, knead your dough now, and then throw your bread into the oven. Some of them made blankets, jump back down, get your needle and your thread, and sew your blanket. Some of them gardened, jump back up, and start to pull out the weeds from the garden. But what no one in Jimmy's town really ever did was take time off of work. Work was far too important to make sure they had enough money for food. Sit back down, crisscross applesauce, and eat your dinner after a long day of work. Yum, yum, yum. But now everyone was talking about taking a day off from work to walk to where Jesus was in the nearby town. Pretend to walk. They were going to walk there just to see him and hear him speak. Lean down and whisper to your neighbor, let's go see Jesus. Lean down and tell your other neighbor, let's go see Jesus. They knew there was something special about Jesus, but they didn't realize who Jesus was yet. The whole town decided to go on this little journey to see Jesus. Jimmy was so excited. Jump up and show how excited Jimmy was. Keep jumping. He never left his little village before. He couldn't contain his excitement because it would take many hours to walk to where Jesus was. The people of the town decided to pack a few things for the road. Grab a loaf of bread and throw it into your bag. Good. Now grab a fish to eat with your bread and throw it into your bag. Now grab a little pouch of water and throw it in. Off they went on their journey. The townspeople were so excited that they started running as they set off on their journey to see Jesus. Run in place super fast, so excited to get to Jesus. But soon they were getting tired and the sun was getting hot and their pace started to slow down now and start to walk. And before they knew it, they were thirsty and hungry. Woo! Fall down to the ground, hot and tired and hungry and thirsty. They realized this town wasn't quite as close as they thought, and the journey was a little longer and harder than expected. But they weren't going to give up. They sat up, drank their water, gulp, 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 ate up all their food, gobble, 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 gobble. And then they started back on their journey. Once again, get up and start to march in place, making your way down the road to the town where Jesus is. After a while, they were there. Hooray, jump up! Hooray, hooray! They did a little dance. Oh yeah, we made it. Oh yeah, they made it. They were amazed. There were thousands of people in the crowd. But where was Jesus? Come to your tiptoes, peer around, and look for Jesus. There he is! They found him! He was in the middle of the crowd, seated, jumped down, crisscross applesauce, teaching everyone all about God. He was teaching them how to love God and how to love others. Everyone in the crowd was so quiet. Shh. They listened closely to each and every word that Jesus said. Before they even realized it, hours had passed. They were starting to get really hungry again after their long journey. Jump up and make your tummy rumble and grumble, so hungry. Thousands of people started looking into their bags for something to eat. Open up your bag and look in for some food. But there was nothing there. There was nothing left. No one had expected the journey to take so long, and no one packed enough food. No one, except for Jimmy, that is. In all his excitement earlier that day, he had only eaten a little tiny bit of what he had packed. In fact, he still had, check your bag, 2 tiny fish and 5 very small loaves of bread left. His tummy rumbled and grumbled in hunger just looking at his food. Make your tummy rumble and grumble again. Jimmy was so hungry. But how could he pull out his food and eat in front of all these other hungry people? He certainly didn't have enough to share. Let's pull out the items from his bag again and count up what he has. Kneel down, open up his bag, and pull out the first fish, 1 fish. Kneel back down, pull out the second fish, 2 fish. Back down and jump up, he has 1 loaf of bread. Back down and jump up, 2 loaves of bread. Back down and jump up, 3 loaves of bread. Back down and jump up, 4 loaves of bread. Back down and jump up, 5 loaves of bread in all. Just then, he heard Jesus talking to one of his disciples, jump down, crisscross applesauce like Jesus, sitting on the ground. Philip, he said to one of his disciples, we need to give bread to these poor, hungry people to eat. Jesus, Philip said, jump back up and pretend to be Philip. Even if I gave you all the money I had earned in 6 months' time, it wouldn't be enough to feed a crowd this big, and we have no money. Turn your imaginary pockets inside out, showing no money in your pockets. Just then, Jimmy had an idea. Tap your forehead, showing Jimmy thinking. He knew all the people around him were hungry, and that it was too far to walk back to the village for food. Even though he himself was extremely hungry, he walked right up to Jesus. And with his small bag, he said to Jesus, kneel down to talk to Jesus, I know it's nothing and certainly not enough to feed a crowd this huge, but maybe you could do something with it or give it to someone who needs it more than me. Come back down to seated now, crisscross applesauce, and pretend to be Jesus. Jesus looked up at Jimmy and he said, you are very kind, Jimmy. Don't worry, God always provides enough for those who give to others. Will you help me pass out this food? Just then, Jesus stood up. Stand up now. As he stood, the whole crowd grew silent. Jesus instructed the whole crowd to sit down. Use your hands to show the crowd to sit down. Then jump to your bottom and sit down. The crowd followed his instructions right away. Jesus took Jimmy's bag, reached in, get his bag, and reach in, and he pulled out pieces of fish and pieces of bread. Reach in and pull it out. Reach in and pull it out. He started passing it out. to the enormous crowd. Kneel down and then start passing it out. Good. Now get some food, kneel down, and pass it out. Back up. Get some food, kneel down, and then pass it out. This took a long time because there were 5,000 people in the crowd. Let's count that out in jumping jacks. Ready? 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people in the crowd. It was a miracle. The more Jesus and Jimmy passed out, the more there was in the bag. Pass out the food in fast motion now. Pass, 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 pass. Sit down, and just like someone in the crowd, start eating your yummy food. Yum, 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 gobble, 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 gobble. When everyone was full from their yummy dinner, they decided to pick up the leftovers so that none would go to waste. So squat down and gather the leftovers, and then come up and put them in your basket. Gather up the leftovers and put them in your basket. Gather up and put it in. Once all the leftovers had been gathered up, they counted up the number of baskets filled with bread and fish. Let's count the baskets with little jumps. Come down, 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 and then jump up 1 basket, 2 baskets, 3 baskets. There's lots. Keep going. 4, 5, 6. Oh my gosh. 7. Keep jumping. 8, 9. Almost there. 10, 11, 12 baskets of fish and bread. It was a miracle like the people in Jimmy's town had never seen before. Start to high-five your neighbors, showing how excited you are about this amazing miracle. All the crowd called out to Jesus, "Jump your feet wide and put your hands to your mouth." "Thank you, Jesus." Then they cheered for him. Do jumping jacks, showing the crowd cheering for Jesus. Finally, it was time to walk home. All the people from Jimmy's town walked back together in the cool evening air. Walk, 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 tummies full and happy from their wonderful dinner. Although everyone was amazed by the miracle that Jesus performed, none was as amazed as Jimmy. He saw with his own eyes his 2 little fish count the fish with a jump. 1 fish, 2 fish, and 5 tiny loaves of bread count the loaves with a jump. 1 loaf, 2 loaves, 3 loaves, 4 loaves, 5 loaves of bread feed thousands and thousands of people. This was a day that Jimmy would never, ever forget. He walked all the way home, big smile on his face, and he finally laid down in bed. After the most amazing day of his life, Jimmy prayed this prayer to God. "Thank you for showing me that I can always trust you, God. I believe in you and I believe in Jesus." Sit up now, crisscross applesauce, hands at your heart. God, we trust you and believe in you too. Amen.
Amen.